I love you, idiot. The words echoed through the executive floor, silencing every conversation and stopping time itself. Olivia Chen, billionaire CEO of Horizon Technologies, stood trembling with emotion, her designer heels planted firmly before my desk, tears threatening to spill from her usually composed eyes. 20 pairs of eyes from the open-plan office stared at us in shock. And me? I sat frozen, a single dad who'd somehow missed every sign that my intimidating boss had feelings for me. If you're enjoying this story of love, misunderstanding, and second chances, please hit that like button and subscribe for more heartwarming content that reminds us all that sometimes happiness finds us when we least expect it. My name is Ethan Parker, and 6 months ago, I was just trying to keep my head above water. After my wife passed away 3 years earlier, I'd been raising my daughter Sophie alone while working as a mid-level software engineer. When Horizon Technologies offered me a position as their new development director with double my previous salary and flexible hours, it felt like the universe was finally cutting me some slack. What I didn't expect was Olivia Chen. The first time I met her, she intimidated me completely. 34 years old and already running a tech empire valued at billions, she carried herself with a confidence I couldn't fathom. Her reputation preceded her, brilliant, demanding, and utterly focused on excellence. The tabloids called her the Ice Queen of Silicon Valley, but I quickly learned she was anything but cold. During my first week, I accidentally stayed late debugging a critical system. When I finally looked up from my screen, it was past midnight. I nearly jumped out of my skin when I realized Olivia was sitting at a desk nearby, working silently. "Your daughter, Sophie, right? Won't she be worried?" she asked without looking up. I explained that Sophie was at a sleepover, and Olivia simply nodded. "The cafeteria's closed, but I ordered Thai. There's extra if you're hungry." That night, we ate pad Thai at 1 a.m. while discussing everything from coding architecture to our favorite sci-fi novels. It was the first glimpse I had of the woman behind the billionaire facade. What I didn't realize was that it was also the beginning of her subtle pursuit. The signs were there. Looking back, they seem so obvious now. The way she'd bring coffee to my desk, only mine, every Thursday morning. How she'd ask about Sophie constantly, remembering every detail about my daughter's life. The time she arranged front-row tickets to Sophie's favorite band when I mentioned casually that I couldn't get them. The lingering glances during meetings that I attributed to her evaluating my work. "Dad, Ms. Chen totally likes you," Sophie told me one evening after Olivia had stopped by our apartment with a programming book she thought I'd enjoy. I laughed it off. "She's just being a good boss, kiddo. Besides, she could have anyone in the world." Sophie rolled her eyes in that way only 12-year-olds can perfect. "You're so clueless sometimes." My obliviousness reached legendary status the night of the company gala. Olivia appeared beside me in a stunning emerald dress, asking if I'd save her a dance. I politely declined, explaining I needed to get home to Sophie. "I could have my driver take you both home afterward," she offered. "That's very kind, but Sophie has school tomorrow." "Another time, perhaps." I missed the flash of disappointment in her eyes. The following Monday, I found a note on my desk. "Dinner this Friday? Just the two of us." I assumed it was about the new project launch and replied with a professional email confirming the time. The restaurant should have been my first clue: intimate, candlelit, with a view overlooking the city. Olivia arrived wearing a simple but elegant black dress, her usual corporate armor nowhere to be seen. "You look nice," I said politely, still oblivious. "Thank you, Ethan. I wanted tonight to be special." We talked for hours. She asked about my late wife, listening with genuine empathy as I shared memories. I learned about her childhood in a small apartment above her immigrant parents' restaurant, how she coded her first app at 13, and the loneliness that sometimes came with her success. "It's hard to know who sees me and who sees my bank account," she admitted. "I see you," I replied honestly. "You're the most remarkable person I've ever met." Her eyes softened. And what do you see, exactly? A brilliant mind. A kind heart hidden behind a tough exterior. Someone who works too hard and probably doesn't hear "thank you" enough. She reached across the table, her fingers brushing mine. I pulled back instinctively, misreading the gesture completely. "Sorry," I said awkwardly. "I should probably get home to check on Sophie." The hurt in her eyes was unmistakable, but I still didn't understand. Things grew tense after that night. Olivia became more distant at work, and I worried I'd somehow offended her. Weeks passed with only professional interactions between us. Then came the day that changed everything. I was working late again, having arranged for Sophie to stay with my sister. Olivia stormed into the office, clearly agitated. "Why are you still here?" she demanded. "The Peterson account needs." "I don't care about the Peterson account right now," she interrupted. "I care that you've been avoiding me." I was genuinely confused. "I haven't been avoiding you." "Then why did you turn down my dinner invitation last week? And the concert tickets before that?" "I thought those were work events," I said slowly, realization beginning to dawn. "And I needed to be home with Sophie." "For God's sake, Ethan. I've been trying to date you for 6 months. I've never worked this hard to get someone's attention in my life." I stared at her, stunned. "But and I'm just." "Just what? A brilliant engineer? A devoted father? The only person in this company who treats me like a human being instead of a walking bank account or a boss to fear?" "You could have anyone," I said weakly. "I don't want anyone. I want you." Her voice broke slightly. "But clearly, I've misread everything." She turned to leave, and something inside me finally clicked. All those moments, those small kindnesses, the lingering glances, they weren't professional courtesy. They were the actions of a woman trying to show she cared. "Olivia, wait," I called, but she was already striding toward the elevator. I ran after her, catching up just as the doors began to close. 20 curious faces watched from the open office area as I blocked the elevator with my arm. "I'm an idiot," I admitted. "Finally, something we agree on," she said, but there was a hint of a smile. "I didn't think someone like you could ever be interested in someone like me." "Someone like me?" she challenged. "Brilliant. Beautiful. Successful. And lonely," she added quietly. "Until I met you and Sophie." The office had gone completely silent. Everyone was watching our exchange, but in that moment, they might as well have been invisible. "I love how you put Sophie first, always," Olivia continued. "I love how your face lights up when you solve a coding problem. I love that you bring me tea when I'm stressed, exactly how I like it, without me ever having to ask. I've been falling in love with you for months, and you've been completely oblivious." Her frustration finally boiled over. "I love you, idiot." The words hung in the air between us. 20 breaths held collectively in the silent office. "I love you too," I said, the truth of it washing over me like a wave. "I think I have for a while. I just never thought it was possible." And there, in front of our stunned colleagues, I kissed Olivia Chen, Billionaire CEO, and the woman who had patiently waited for me to catch up to what my 12-year-old daughter had known all along. That night, I brought Olivia home to meet Sophie properly, not as my boss, but as the woman I loved. Sophie opened the door, took one look at our joined hands, and grinned. "Finally. I was about to make PowerPoint slides to explain it to you, Dad." 6 months later, our little family of 2 became 3 when Olivia moved into our modest home, insisting she preferred it to her penthouse because it actually feels like a home. She proposed to me on Christmas morning, with Sophie's enthusiastic blessing and assistance. Life isn't perfect. We still navigate the complexities of our different worlds. There are days when Olivia's wealth makes me uncomfortable, moments when my insecurities resurface. But we face each challenge together, with honesty and patience. Sometimes love is right in front of us, leaving coffee on our desk and remembering our child's favorite ice cream flavor. Sometimes it takes a frustrated declaration in front of 20 coworkers for us to finally see it. And sometimes, the happy ending we never dared to imagine becomes our beautiful reality. If this story touched your heart, remember that love often comes in unexpected packages. Don't miss the signs like Ethan did. Hit subscribe for more stories that remind us all that second chances and new beginnings are always possible, even when, especially when, we least expect them.